Yo, what's up, people? It's XBX-Open here. Charlie, aka Amnesia, aka Shut Your Motherfucking Mouth, nigga. Right, I'm basically going to show you the best way to do a drop with Aeon. So let's see. If anybody thinks they can do a better drop, a more sufficient drop, then do it, record it, send it to me, and then talk. If you can't do that, then shut the fuck up. Right, basically I've gone first factory, 2 mexes, and then basically it works out that I'm going to go for like 12 power around it. Or maybe a bit more. I don't know. There's a fair amount of power. Must be like 16. But essentially, my build order is pretty much the same that it normally would be. But this time, I'm going to do a lot less teching on mass extractors. A lot more fast upgrades. And you'll see that I don't initially like send a waste mass on like fucking transports and shit like that. That's useless. Because I just basically want to make as less power as possible at the start and tech up as much as possible and as quick as possible and basically land on their island, which is this victim here. Land on this island basically the quickest I can with the best possible like power around me for shields and shit like that. So we've got first NG going straight, going to build one mass extractor, and then he's going to go straight here and he's going to build a factory. I got this off Syndicalist. It's a really good strategy. I think it's helpful. Second engineer is going to help my comm just to, I don't know, probably get the power up quicker and stuff. It's a lot of walking. It's not really a sufficient way, like efficient way of helping like an engineer like with a comm, like both of them helping each other, because the amount of running it does is unbelievable. But you know, it's there. It does something. Third engineer is going straight for this reclaim here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So all of those rocks. Then we've got a radar, and then straight away he's going to take this mech, and then he's going to be reclaiming up this way. Okay, next is going straight on this hydro. We want obviously power early to do as much, well, we want to make a lot of power at the start so we can have a lot of T1 air. We never want to lose the air initially, or if you do lose it, you've got to have the build power to then take back air and obviously get the engineers to assist your factories to pump out a shitload of fucking T1. So that's what my plan is. Notice how I haven't built any more land factories. I've built 2 air factories. That's important because they do the exact same job. I think the only one that is actually like leaves you at a disadvantage is the Cybran air factories. They take ages for engineers to come out, like the longest. Aeon ones are quick. There's pretty much no difference. I don't know exact times because I'm not a nerd, but you know, I know they're definitely not the longest, so it doesn't affect me that much for what I am planning to do. So straight away, you can see that I'm still doing this power, and I'm still doing the reclaim. We're going to put it up a bit because that's a bit boring. He hasn't even started reclaiming his shit yet. This was basically the introduction. You can see that this build is still a sufficient build because I'm beating all of these fucking noobs here anyway. Not that their build orders are going to be great, but you know, it just goes to show that you can do this build order and still have good points and still have a good economy and shit like that. So strangely I started the T2 one there, so that one's going up T2 now. So I haven't even finished my power yet, and I'm still going up T2 on one of them. I believe he does annihilate me. He goes for a drop on my island like quite early, and I give it to him because I don't really need it, and I'm going to be in his base in a minute, absolutely annihilating the shit kid, so it's not really necessary. The only thing that would piss me off is if he started bombing my engineers, because then it's slowing my expansion on my actual main like area. But by me putting one engineer there at the start is essentially basically, you know, if I get it, I get it. If I don't, you know, not a lot of mass wasted on it, so fuck it. If I really wanted it, I would have put a lot of T1 air into it, a lot of scouts, and obviously transport. I haven't done that, so I couldn't give a flying fuck. Alright, so I'm making it look like I'm going Navy. Remember, this is important. For instance, if I do drop, I'm going to have a lot of mass when I drop. So if I wanted to, and he was putting up a fight, obviously I can go straight T2 Navy. It leaves more options open. So if all else fails, I can be on his island. I can have some cruisers over here. So if they try to snipe me and shit, you know, it's not really going to work out because I've got a shitload of cruisers right behind me. So you can see I've got this first air factory straight out, you know, attack move, reclaiming. I forgot about that one there because I'm a noob. I've got a radar there just in case they do any drops at the back of my base to try and get round to the air player. Probably wouldn't because no, they're not very good, but you know, I do it anyway. It's just what I naturally do. So back to me and my initial build order. So we've got 2, 3, 4. Okay, so I'm now going T2 on my com. I know that I need to get some air back, so I've got a fair amount of engineers, and they're on my air. So I'm not prepared to just, you know, lose complete air control, because, you know, like, he has got a bit, and it could fuck me up. This guy here, this air player, he's a noob, but like, he does well in this. Like, it just goes to show, if your air player wants to go for like a rush sort of strategy, and you also go for a drop, it can benefit you well, especially if this player that I'm going to do it on is a particularly good player. He's not really great, and like, it's not really like any sort of problem. There's no really threat from anybody, so this strategy isn't a must. I didn't need his help, but his help has worked, so he's just going to give him some, you know, some interference. If he feels that he can do it, then, you know, let him go for it. Fuck him, I don't really care. Notice how I'm going T2 on this one. Always engineers assist my mexes. I don't really just let them go on their own because it's pretty pointless. Takes too long. So I've got that one there as well. So let's click on me and see how many T2 I've got exactly at 7 minutes. Right, 4, 5, 6. That's not a great amount, to be completely honest with you. If I was on beach, I'd be looking to have more than 6. More than 6 T2 mexes at this point, 7 minutes. But I'm playing a noob, so it doesn't really matter. So I'm going here. I've built this one T2 power, and then as soon as I build the one T2 power, I then go straight to T3. I don't fuck about. I go straight to T3 on my com. You can see at the moment my mass isn't at a respectable standards. It should be. It should definitely be better than this. But I'm probably, I'm upgrading this one here. So that's why. Notice how obviously all of these have power around them, so I'm not really going to have time and micro. It's not really worth it to start putting storage around them. But the other ones, I am actually, you know, I've got only 2 engineers because I don't want a lot of build power going into it, but I am building some mass storage just for that extra benefit. It's not really, you know, for a major benefit. I've done this one as well, so I've got a fair amount of T2 and just enough mass to benefit me and put me in a position where I'm obviously capable of building a shitload of stuff. I've gone T3 on my com now, as you can see. A bit of a delay here, I'm not sure why. I've started building my my T3 power because I'm going to need that for shields, and now I'm assisting my air factory go into T2. My air factory has gone T2. I'm now making a T2 transport. While this is all going on, all of my like surrounding engineers, they've gone straight on the factories. So my air production at the moment, T1 wise, should be absolutely annihilating his. I very much doubt that he's gonna see. So he's only got one, and he's got he's got a T1 Navy as well. So he's not in a great position. This guy here is did fuck him. Obviously he's had to compensate for that and is annihilating him now, but it doesn't really matter. He has got his he's got some T1 subs out. That doesn't really make a difference. Like I said, what he's tried to do is he's tried to rush me. It's a very bad attempt at a rush because it's at 10 minutes, and if I did want to go Navy, I can guarantee that I'd have some fucking T1 torp launchers, and this and that would be fucking pointless. So he's just retarded. Now you can see now I'm sending all of this fucking air straight in. He's got some bombers and stuff. It's not going to do fuck all. Right, now once I land, I've got all of my air still being produced going over it. I've dropped. Oh, lol, he's pissed off, you know, obviously. All he can do is laugh because I've just made him look like a complete noob. Right, so he's gone for some T1 point defense. It's not in range, so it's not gonna benefit me. I've gone straight for T1. They're fast, close up, they get the job done. They've got a higher damage per second than the T2 ones if they're in range. T2's really good for range, so it's good. You can see how fast I've got this up. It builds so fast because you have that T3 engineering on your comm. So I've got a radar quickly. I'm going to see what's going on. You can see that this guy's got a lot of fucking factories, you know. But it's just about getting that early shield up. So you've got some T2 under a shield and some T1. As long as the artillery can't hit the T1, they're going to annihilate it. You know, they're going to annihilate it. The only thing he could do is go T2 on a Navy factory. Doesn't have the build power to sufficiently do it to a good standards. Now you can see I've still got all of this air over. So at the moment, I don't need to focus on anti-air. I've done it now just to reassure myself that Mercies can't actually fuck me. You know, this guy's still going for some anti-air. He's trying to get rid of my air, obviously. Yeah, nothing's going to help him at this point. He's lost far too much too quick. Like, the only thing that I could say would be smart for him to do would be go T2 and get some mobile missile launchers, get them in range, get some of my shields down. At this point, I've also got this, T1 factory straight on the reclaim. Let's slow it down a bit so we can just see a bit more, you know. So I'm basically base building him now. Like I'm PD building him. I've built on his base. I'm building around his base, and I'm making sure that he's in range. And shit's going down, and he's got the pressure. His micro and stuff look like he's going for an upgrade now. I assume it's T2, and I'm hitting him. I'm not letting him get that. You can't let him have the time to go, whoa, 1 minute, let me, you know, start doing upgrades, let me do this, let me do that, let me put myself in a position where I can actually, you know, fight back. We don't want that. We want him to lose mass quick. We want him to have to micro quick and put him under as much pressure as possible. I've noticed how I've still got this, alive, this transporter. That's important. Like, they should have killed that, because if shit happened, I could, like, get out of here, basically. So I've still got a lifeline. Straight away, I'm starting on that Colossus like a fucking boss. I've got some tactical missile launchers. I'm going straight for a T3 shield now. Now, if we take a look, my power and mass is doing really well, considering I'm reclaiming and stuff. My air guy has took it upon himself. Like I said before, it can benefit you. It can get the job done. He's basically decided to bring some air over, a bit more cover for me, which is good. I've remembered that his comm is about, and obviously I'm guessing I've sent this one to patrol around here. I've got some patrolling around here to see what's going on. So I'm basically finding his comm. His comm is there straight away. I found it, pinged it. This guy should send his shit. He did, pretty much straight away. No, so at 15 minutes, their air guy should have some T3. He doesn't. He's a muppet. What does he have? Let's see if he's even got a T3 factory. He has got a T3 factory at 15 minutes, but he has nothing. So it's useless, really. He's getting raped. You know, by T1 as well. Yeah, these are T1. You know, if they were T2, there's no way you're gonna get out of there. This Colossus is still getting built and stuff. I did see all of this shit here, so I thought, you know what, let me just get some T1 and some T2 just on this side, just to benefit me. Now, really, it's all about reclaim. I'm trying to get this up as fast as possible. Ideally, you know, if this was against the team that could fight back, and basically this is like an all or nothing strategy, I would be asking for mass, because I've got the build power, or I've got some sort of build power, so I want to be putting myself in a position where I've got as much engineers on this Colossus, and it's getting quickly built. You know, at the moment, I can tell you that my mass is going to be ridiculously shit. Like it is, but I'm grinding it. I'm hanging in there. It's dropping. You know, I don't think it's going to be positive for sure. But you know, ideally, I've started reclaiming and starting trying to get the extra mass. I should have done it a lot quicker. It's not really a efficient way. Sorry, it's not that efficient. I should have been reclaiming all of this mass a bit quicker to try and get my mass up. You know, to boost this. But like I said, I was against the noobs, so it don't really matter. I am TMLing like this guy's mexes, like over here. You know, because look, let's take a look at the range actually. Like this guy's lost all three here, but let's take a look at the range that I have at the moment. So that's a big area. You can see I'm taking this guy's out. He's lost 1, 2, 3. Like I'm trying to affect as many people as possible. You know, I'm not trying to make anybody's life easier at all. I want to do as much damage as possible. So you know, if I do get raped or I do die, you know, I've still done something. So it's just not a wasted attempt. If I dropped and I died, then it's a fail. But luckily enough, I didn't. You know. But if you look, and if you know, on YouTube, obviously I can't do it. I don't have the luxury of doing it. But if you guys just like rewind the video, you can check the time that I did drop on this guy, and I think it's really fucking early, a really early time, for what, you know, for what I done and for what I achieved. I think if you're dropping any later than, you know, 11 and a half minutes, then don't bother. There's no point. So I've stopped my air now because obviously I want to put as much mass into the Colossus. It's going up quite fast, really. Let's speed this up anyway. So that's basically the initial drop. You can see the idea. That was the build order. How I've come to grips with basically being able to drop that quick. And let's just speed this up and see the damage. Let's see the damage that I can do with this GC and what I achieve. So let's speed it up to like +8. Let's get things going on, moving on. You know, because they don't stand a chance really. So there's no point really watching loads and loads of boring shit. So this is nearly done at 19 minutes. Like I wouldn't even say that's a fast time for a GC. I'd say you want to get the GC up before probably, I don't know, 16 minutes. 17 minutes, I'd say, depending how well your drop goes. You know, 19 minutes is probably the latest you want to be doing it, because they could get a Monkey Lord up, you know, if they did have Siren, or he could have got a Monkey Lord up. He definitely probably had the mass, considering he was rock, but he got annihilated pretty fast, so he was probably spending all of his mass trying to not get raped. So here's me just like raping this guy as much as possible. He does start to do a GC, but he hasn't got enough build power on it, and it just won't build in time. Not where I am. No fucking way. You know, really, I should have got some vet on those units there, but it doesn't really matter. Most of these air have run out of petrol. You got to remember that, these T1 interceptors. But I'm still doing it because, you know, I can't be bothered to rely on my team. So I'm doing as best as possible to see as much as I can as possible. Straight away, my GC's in there. I've seen him. You know, I could have blew up the power and he would have been fucked. Easy XP, GG, you're dead. You know, you get raped. So that just goes to show how if you do a successful drop and you do get an initial base up, you know, I'd say a strong base is having definitely some T2 and T1 PD. Definitely having some T2 shields and T3 shields. I still don't think that's enough shields. Like, against normal people or good players, that wouldn't be enough. You know, this guy's trying to hit me with some shit loads of fucking TMLs. You know, which is unbelievable, really. It didn't get through. It did get through, shit. It nearly took my crap out. But I've got loads. I obviously saw it quite easy. I saw it. And I just completely fucking countered it with these tactical missile defences. And I'm going for an extra shield just to make sure. So he's not getting through anytime soon. I've obviously got some T1 out. That's probably going T3, yeah. Some T1 units out just to fucking piss them off. You know, affect them as much as possible. This is going straight down here. I saw from this guy, I believe he was over. I don't know how he's getting hit. He's still getting hit. Look, he's not under the water properly. Get raped. What's he trying to do? Build a... Yeah, he's trying to build a flak. He's getting raped. Oh, and my GC just clipped him. Look. So, he obviously wasn't in the deepest bit. I don't understand. He wasn't in the... He obviously wasn't in the deepest bit. Or maybe Cybran are just too tall for the pool. I don't know. But he got raped. So I'm guessing I sent this straight down. I don't even think this gets in time. I've got some T3 units, I think. Have I? Have I not? Have I? I don't even think I've got T3 units here. These are T1. Yeah, there you go. There's some T3 coming in. So it just goes to show, like, as soon as I got in a position where I could fuck people and I've got mass, I did very quickly, and he died as well. So I think that's a good way of doing things, and it just goes to show how effective a drop can be. I think it can work against good players. You just need to be very quick and efficient, and you probably need to have done this against people of this standard quite a lot. The only other player that I could say that I have seen do drops and affect people would be maybe Andy Rue or Emberg. They're the only people that do random stuff like this quite randomly on Setons, and it is very effective a lot of the time. So there you go, guys. I hope it wasn't too boring for you, and you know, feel free to just skip certain parts of the video and stuff, but you get the point. So thank you very much, and GG and peace.